Hey everybody, hope you're all well today on this Patriots Day, which is the perfect day to make this video response to Legal Eagle 03, who made a video response called, originally made a video called Gun Control is Good. He made a video response, Gun Control is Not Good. And now I'm going to make this response out of respect to you, Legal Eagle. I'm not going to get into some huge ongoing discussion about this, and especially with you, considering I looked at your channel, and out of the 14 videos that you've made, I think 13 are about gun control, and I know you're hot to trot in discussing this with someone, but I may not be the guy to discuss it with. But I'm going to go over a couple of points, and I don't have all my resources up. This is like the fourth time I'm trying to make this video, so I'm going to go just with what I have written down here. And what time is it, so I can keep my eye on that. Okay, your first point about background checks, how they're basically a waste of time. But you keep saying a criminal, it doesn't stop a criminal from getting a gun. Well, first off, I never mentioned a criminal and a waiting period. I think you may have, I don't think I did in my video, and if I did, I'm sorry, but I didn't mention criminals not getting weapons with a waiting period. There's many more reasons to have a waiting period in my view, and it still does not infringe on your Second Amendment right or your view of the Second Amendment to own a weapon. Let me put it this way. Say, even if the waiting period stopped a criminal from getting a gun, he has to get it illegally, well, at least the waiting period at that moment worked. I mean, you can't deny that. And secondly, there are many more people that should not own a weapon besides criminals. But the Second Amendment says nothing about a criminal or an ex-criminal, a felon, owning a weapon. As a matter of fact, some people might argue the point that, well, if they've paid their debt to society, then they should be able to own a weapon. Many people would argue that point. If you believe that, or if you think that a felon should not own a weapon, then indeed you also agree with me that there should be controls on guns. That's what gun control is. Right? Okay. But, yeah, I mean, here's another scenario. You're in a bar with a couple of your friends, and I'm standing next to you. We don't know each other. I'm an aggressive asshole. You bump into me. I've had a little bit to drink, maybe 2 beers, 3 beers. I'm not visually impaired, and you've had 2 or 3. We start having an argument. I think you know where I'm going to go with this. You've got a couple of buddies, so I'm not going to try and punch you out. I'm going to leave the bar. I'm going to go next door to the gun store. And if there's not a waiting period, I'll go in there, I'll buy a handgun, I'll buy the weapon, I'll buy the ammunition, I'll go back and I'll blow you and possibly your friends away. Now, if there were a waiting period even of a week, even of a day, I would have cooled down sufficiently so I could not have gotten that weapon and ended your life immediately. Even for that fact, there should be a waiting period, and I know I'm going to get a lot of flack for that. Okay, I've got to move along here. The second point you made, negative, about if, well, what if there should be a waiting period. What if I made negative arguments and there should be a waiting period for making negative arguments? Well, negative arguments are not, don't involve a deadly weapon. Of course, I would not want to wait if I had to make negative arguments about something. That has something to do with free speech, of course. But the two don't go hand in hand. A negative argument, I don't believe, ever killed anyone. waiting period for a gun, again, does not infringe on your Second Amendment right to own that weapon. It is a control over owning that weapon, not taking away your right to own it. And again, if you think an ex-criminal who served 15 years in prison for rape should not be able to own a weapon, then you also believe in gun control. And number three, the whole thing to do with foreign countries and whatever. I come from Boston. I've lived in the Netherlands for 10 years. Netherlands has extremely strict gun laws. You can own a weapon, but it's very, very hard to get one. And, you know, the United States having 14 people per 100,000 murdered by a gun. In the Netherlands, it's 0.7, not even one person per 100,000. That's per year. And your argument is, well, America has huge cities and it's with a lot of different cultures, and it's natural. And again, if I put words into your mouth, I don't mean to. That it's natural for cultures to, be at each other and to use weapons against each other, I think. Listen, the Netherlands, believe it or not, is one of the top 5 most crowded countries per square kilometer in the world, behind Bangladesh. Seriously. And the immigration here is exploding, primarily from Morocco, Turkey, Nigeria, other Muslim countries, other Eastern European countries are flooding in to the Netherlands because of the relaxed immigration laws. And there's not murders because of that. I think that way of looking at things, because there's different cultures and different cultures go after each other with weapons, yeah, I don't buy it. I don't buy that in a civilized country. And for America to be that way, and for you to actually say that it's kind of acceptable. I know you're not saying this, it's acceptable, but by saying this, you're accepting that fact. I think that's shameful. I think the crime rate in the United States is horrifying, is shameful, and it's brought on by a lot of other things: economic, discrimination, the school system. I mean, a lot is involved in it, but the fact of the matter is that picking the UK as your example, that's the only example I think that you might be able to come up with. I might be wrong. The vast majority of examples of countries that have extreme very hard gun control, the murder rate per weapon, using firearms, is lower. So, I'm going to have to cut this because I know it's going on to 10 minutes. And, yeah, thanks for making your video response to me, Legal Eagle. You seem like a nice guy. Okay? And happy Patriots Day, my friend. Goodbye, everybody.